Hey guys, Savannah Bell here with My Massage World, and in this week's video, I'm talking about branding again. More specifically, some of the most common branding mistakes and the key to great branding. This week in our free Facebook group, we're talking all about branding and looking at some of the details of what it is and is not, why it's important, and what changes to make to really start building a solid brand for your massage practice. So I wanted this week's video to hit on that theme too. Let's look at some of the biggest mistakes people make with branding and some of the key components to great branding. One of the biggest mistakes that I see with branding is that people think it's just about the look, but it's not. Branding is so much more than a logo and pretty colors. It is the personality and theme of your business. It is what instills a certain feeling in your clients. It is the relationship between your business and your audience. It is how you speak to them and how you resonate with the perfect client for you. It is your messaging and the story that you tell. It is not a logo. It is not a color scheme. It is not a pattern. Those are all components that can help support a business's brand. They are visual representations of a piece of the brand, but they are not what makes a brand. Think of it like a book. If you were writing a book, would you start with the illustrations or the story? You'd start with the story. The illustrations come once the story is there because their entire purpose is just to give visual representation to the story. Your brand is the story. Your brand visuals are the illustrations. Another big mistake is not taking it seriously. People think it's just some pretty stuff, or even if they realize that it's more than that, they might think that writing all this stuff down and really planning out their brand, all this stuff that nobody sees, isn't really all that important. That it's just some idea, and sure, you can stick with that, but are you really? Because the problem arises way too often when you're flip-flopping. When you put out a message one day that is meant to resonate with purely a female audience and turn away guys, only the next day to try to appeal to all guys and turning away the women. Or you put out an ad to appeal to athletes and go with that for a month and then switch and start targeting prenatal clients, where you have someone write all your website copy but write your own blog post and it doesn't even come close to sounding like the same person. When you're switching fonts and colors, because does it really matter? But I am here to tell you, yes, it freaking matters. You want to know the biggest key to great branding? Consistency. Consistency in your look, consistency in your messaging, consistency in your copywriting, consistency in the client experience. And it all ties together to be, guess what? Consistent. Now, some people might think, well, I want to appeal to athletes and pregnant women. I want to target both young and old, wealthy and blue collar, athletes and couch potatoes, office workers and manual laborers, and there is nothing wrong with that. You can still do that and keep a consistent brand. Yes, it's a bit harder if you don't have a niche, and if you're not sure about a niche, be sure to check out my other video on the difference between an ideal client and a niche. It will help you a lot here. But even if you don't have a niche, your messaging still needs to be consistent in the central message that you're sending, in the story that you're telling, and not only the experience they receive, but the marketing you're putting out there. So let me give you a real world example here. Joanna Gable of Bee's Knees in Charleston, South Carolina. She appeals to a wide variety of clientele. She doesn't necessarily niche down in any obvious way where she's targeting a select few people. Her slogan is, "Because you wear your body every day." I love that. It is a simple yet profound statement and can be found in every bit of her marketing messaging. Even if she doesn't share that exact statement in every piece, it's still the message that comes across. Another one would be, note here, I'm going to reference a company many of you may hate, but give me a minute to explain. Massage Envy. Their Because Everything marketing campaign worked great. They hit on numerous problems people can have, but the messaging and branding was on point. Regardless of how you feel about the company, you can't deny they have good branding. So essentially, take branding seriously. It is a massive component in the success of a business. And no, it does not have to cost you a fortune to do it right. For more tips on branding, be sure to join the My Massage World Facebook group, where we're spending all week discussing branding, including a live Q&A coming up tomorrow. and get the full brand development process laid out for you by becoming a business member with us and taking our brand development class, included exclusively for our business members. Thank you so much for watching today. As always, check us out at mymassageworld.com, like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and stay tuned for more videos.